Can you dig it, Coach?
What's going on, everybody? Saturday night edition of Windy City Digits Live. Vic's gonna do the talking at the start because I'm trying to pay attention to my socks. Thankfully, William got out of the ninth, so now we're into the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom nice, tied up 2-2.
2-2. Gavin Sheets, Harrison, then Anderson.
You said
You
2-2.
guys up.
You said 2-2, buddy.
So that's where we're at right now. So how's it going, Vic?
It's going pretty good, man. It's been an interesting last 2 days hearing about Bears mini camp.
Yeah.
Some of the Sox drama and
I
frustration.
know this isn't Wildcard Wednesday, but this is for our buddy Matt. I'm just gonna go all over the place, just kind of whichever direction I want. Talk about Portillo's or
Well, that our buddy Matt was had invited me to go get a burrito at Chipotle, and I had that yesterday. So
oh, you did.
that's kind of his fault. But
And what do you normally get when you go to Chipotle?
always a steak burrito, man. And I've got a burrito bowl one time, so I don't know who gets the burrito bowls versus just a full burrito. See, that would be a great question on Twitter. Do you get the burrito with the tortilla?
You get the
or-
bowl, and then you get the tortilla on the side for free.
What do you mean for free?
You ask for the tortilla on the side. They give it to you on the side, all warmed
Well,
up.
for a burrito, you get it and everything's
But you get
wrapped
more
up in
stuff.
it, man.
You get more stuff in the bowl.
If you want all that stuff, I like the stuff in my burrito, and that's it.
You go with the mild, the medium, or the hot, or all three.
I change it up depending on how I feel, man. Last night it was medium. It was that corn salsa. I don't like that so much. I'd prefer hot,
Okay.
mild with chips.
So
So
that
like
that
your mild
that
chips.
food discussion at the beginning is for our buddy Matt.
Yeah, whatever. Okay,
So-
so what'd you think about what do you want to start with?
You tell me.
What team?
Uh,
Let's start off easy. Let's start off Cubs.
Okay.
Okay. They've been pretty hot, but they did pull off a trade today. One of their first
One of the
trades.
relievers, right?
Yeah, so they traded Chris Martin to the Dodgers for Zach McKinstry.
And what position does he play?
Zach, I guess he plays a number of positions. I don't know if he's just relegated to one. He plays second, third, and left and right for the Dodgers. Then it says as well as shortstop.
So he's kind of all over the place.
He was a 33rd round draft pick of the Dodgers in 2016 out of Central Michigan. He's hit about, let's see how many.
Is he with the big team or is he with them? Was he a minor leaguer?
He's in AAA right now, where he's batting .335 in the last 48 games.
Okay.
That's pretty darn good. But with the club for the Dodgers last year, he only hit .215 in 60 games. But that's really the chance he's been given. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, Zach he's 27 years old, but we're getting rid of Martin, who's 36 years old, has 4.31.
And he probably wasn't going to be with the team next year. So
yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good deal for the Cubs first thing. But those are the guys I want the Cubs to get rid of. Get rid of the older journeymen.
Correct.
You know, that maybe have had a little bit of success, but I still want them to sign Ian Happ, Contreras.
Yeah, Contreras is practically all but
Yeah, I know.
gone. Did you see their thing today where they were talking about he's gone from he deleted basically everything from his Instagram, anything Cubs related from his Instagram.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So,
but I didn't look up to see if that's true. And why would he do that way ahead of time?
you know what? There's been a lot of like things. I saw some things going back and forth today just about how people are complaining about how the Cubs are treating Contreras through this whole process. Contreras has kind of made it clear that, he wants to stay, he wants to remain, and he didn't even want to come back. And they're not giving him any indication as to where he's going to go. It's, because usually the agent is usually involved with these trades. And it just sounds like they're either not involving them or they're not included, whatever the case is. Right. It just seems, I don't know. I don't know if this is normal for them or whatever the case is, but it just sounds like from what, like a lot of the chatter that's going out there is like they're just not treating Contreras very well in this process. So unfortunately, it looks like he wants to be gone. So, hey, Skokes, what's going on, man? We missed your last couple episodes, but thanks for checking in today.
I didn't even
So
see that. Oh, there we go.
yeah,
I see it, man. Yeah, Skokes had some video or pics on Twitter
oh yeah,
today. Yeah, I can't remember if it was the Velus Jones Jr. Route. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. Velus Jones just blowing by. God, who is it? Not, I can't think of the cornerback he blew by, but that dude is fast.
yeah.
So I kind of want to take back what I said an episode ago, where I said maybe Pringle would be the guy, the number 2 guy. Yeah, I think maybe Velus Jones, possibly.
But Camille Harry sounds like he's got a chip on his shoulder, like he wants to bust out. But I haven't heard much. I don't know.
I still don't know.
Maybe you can comment on that, like what you saw with him at the last couple of days of training camp, with the wideouts and the whole, that whole core there.
Yeah, I still don't see how N'Keal Harry is going to be able to separate. I mean, I think that's what everybody's saying. He could have a chip on his shoulder all he wants, but he's got to run a better route. I mean, like, can you think of Tom Waddle? Did he have like great speed?
No,
right?
Waddle was just a possession guy. But then if you think about it back then,
but he got open, man. He got his hands on a lot of passes and pulled them down. He had great hands, and he wasn't fast. He got open.
Yeah, but look, again, it was a different time, a different game back then, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they were primarily a running team to begin with. So, and I'm not sure, does he play with Neil Anderson? Was he on the Neil Anderson years?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. By the way, I did post a comeback today with number 35, and it was guess who the number 35s are in our city
currently.
No, not currently. Like, who do you think are the
two that come to mind would be Frank Thomas and Jason Caffey.
All right. Okay, so Jason Caffey, I think, was with the Bulls 1 year. I don't think he was there longer. There was the Bulls actually had Larry Kennan, who was a pretty darn good basketball player. They had him for 2 years, and then he had a long NBA career. The Big Hurt, Neil Anderson, and then I'm forgetting the 30.
Oh, Neil Anderson. Completely forgot about Neil Anderson.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, what about the Cubs? Was there a 35 on the Cubs?
Cole Hamels for the Cubs. They literally didn't have anyone on the Cubs worth mentioning. All right, so you want to post Skokes' comment here?
Sure. Well,
I'm surprised Pringle hasn't popped up as much either. I haven't heard much about him at all. I don't even think a peep. Unless his arrest over the offseason.
White Sox walk it off.
Who hit it?
Looks like Anderson got a hit to walk it off. I'm just looking at I didn't see the play. I'm just looking at the website, but they walked it off. So
Carl did a solo. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Jim? Carl did a solo yesterday saying that Sox were going to take first.
I said they needed to take advantage of the schedule, right? That's what I was basically trying to get at. They didn't yesterday. And they probably lost Tim Anderson for 3 games in the process, right?
They've needed for like 100 games, man.
But yeah,
they needed to take advantage of everything. Yeah,
now we're back.
People were ripping me on Twitter for even putting that up there.
Well,
it was kind of
fine.
funny.
I'm glad you got the.
Well, they don't know who's doing what.
Yeah, and Minnesota's winning in the 8th, so we're not going to gain any more ground on Minnesota tonight.
So, what'd you think about the Tim Anderson? Storm.
I didn't see the play.
Episode.
I didn't see the whole thing.
Oh, I'll show it to you.
I didn't see. I know that he bumped the umpire.
It was so subtle, man. He literally walked up to him, and helmet, his helmet hit him.
Well,
Here, I'll get it up there.
you can't be doing that, right?
No, you can't. But he got suspended for 3 games.
Yeah, you make contact with an umpire. That's an automatic 3 games.
Okay, so I'm a little disturbed that, like, yes, you get 3 games for your helmet. Here, I'll show you it first before you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Let me see this.
And Tim not real happy with Nick Marvin.
First mistake is the umpire took off his mask.
And Nick runs in after boxing a ball.
Right there. It was the top of his helmet that hit his top of his hat, dude.
That's going to be a reduced sentence.
Like 3 days. 3 days for that, and then what Donaldson. I posted this before. Donaldson gets 1 day. Call him Jackie Robinson. Although I don't want to talk about that because people go all over the place with that.
Well, that was one of our more popular videos. People went all over the place with that one.
Yeah.
Right. All right. We talked Cubs. Sox won tonight, right? And doesn't look like they'll gain any game on Minnesota, but
so there's still 3
games
out.
There's still 3 games out. They'll gain a game on Cleveland, which they'll be back to just a game behind them. But so just real quick, right? They're 50-50 now, right? I kind of did the math a little bit. If he goes basically 6-4,
this is brought to you by Sprite.
Oh, you found some.
You can keep on going now.
So if you go basically 6-4 every 10 games, that means you'll go 36-24 over the last series, right? That means you go 12 games above 500. That might be enough to win the division.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm not even gonna get excited about the Sox until they get 6 or 7 games over 500.
I'm just an angry Sox fan, but they did win tonight, so that kind of holds it off for another night. So,
yeah, I posted stuff like I'm done with this team. I get excited, and then they.
All right, so let's talk a little Bears since Scopes kind of brought stuff up. I mean, did you see? Oh, so Patrick's out for 6 weeks.
6 weeks, broke his thumb.
Yeah. Sounds like though he'll be back for the first game, but still that's kind of critical because he's going to miss all that practice time.
That is critical. Yeah, that was a big
loss
minus, man.
Yeah.
And then Tevin Jenkins has got some kind of illness or something that's not quite. No one's really discussed it. I mean, unless Skokes, you heard something or somebody else has heard something today. I heard nothing about his illness yet.
It just seems to be very mysterious.
It is mysterious, my friend.
Right?
Very mysterious.
You want to get right on that? You want to get your contacts out there and just figure out what's going on?
I will, man.
I'll ask my son to see if he can go out there and figure out what's going on and see if he can get the insights.
I will do that. But you know what? I also thought was interesting. Courtney Cronin, who's a Bears reporter, actually Chicago reporter, was saying that teams are starting to crack down on people creating videos over at mini camps. I don't know what that means necessarily, but someone said that, hey, I'm going to take my video down because they're cracking down on it. And then the Minnesota Vikings had a big thing on their scoreboard down there that said that please don't help other teams, help our team, don't take video.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I think that,
I think that's stupid, especially in the beginning of mini camp.
Well, look, part of that probably makes sense, right? I mean, this is all probably like instigated, whether you believe all that stuff or not, right? But this is probably instigated more from when that whole video thing happened with the Patriots, right? I mean, you assume that everyone going in there is a fan, right? But people going in there and taking video, you have no idea who they are or who they might work for, or someone
No.
plants them in from another team, right? And they're just it looks innocent enough, like they're just taking video of the players, right? But
Yeah, it's so. I mean, with social media, it's so easy to get a hold of people's videos, anyways.
let's see
Doesn't
what
matter.
Scopes has to say. O line's been shaky so far. Can't pads come on. Blocking should be better. Hard to block without pads. Yeah,
I agree. Aren't the pads coming out this week?
it's the whole rules thing, right? I mean, you can only practice in pads like so many days a week and so many days of training camp, right? Yeah, Storm, I kind of agree with that, right?
Yep. The Patriots did ruin it for everybody.
So
But
I kind of
I mean, it kind of makes sense with social media, anyways. Social
Yeah.
media ruins lots of things.
Look, and part of that is like they might be looking because they know that the Bears have all these
Got Bears.
surplus of wide receivers. They might be looking to pick up a guy from another practice squad or something like that, right?
Oh, you deleted your picks. Don't do that, Skokes.
Deleted this from Twitter when I saw what was happening. Hey, you know what? That's probably a good idea, Skokes. Right? You don't want someone coming after you. So
I retweeted one of them, man. They're not going to do anything for taking video like that unless they clearly told you not to. You can do that at games all you want. No one's
but games are different during the year.
Yeah, it's already in there, and everybody's got access.
Yeah, and look, and all those games are televised,
Mm-hmm.
right? In games, so that's a little bit different, I think, right?
Carl Edwards citing for the Nationals. So the Cubs look like there's some new rumors to Contreras going to the San Diego Padres, more so than the Mets. And I guess the Cubs are holding out for some really good picks there. So I really still don't want them to do it, but if they're going to get picks, I hope they hold off for something better than they have in the past.
Well, what is the draft like? 30 rounds? What are you hoping for? Like a 29th round pick and player to be? Do they even do player to be named later anymore?
I don't know. You never hear that often,
right?
Maybe
Isn't that like usually after the trade? Like there used to be that weird like there was like the trade deadline, and then somehow people will pull trades off afterwards for like a player to be named later.
Yeah,
like,
you'd find out maybe a day or two later of who got traded. I'm sure there's still some of it, but you don't hear about it much more at all.
No.
So I'm hoping Willie stays. I don't know how everybody else feels, if they want to get draft picks for him. Hey, so we talked about the Sox. The Bears. What do you think about Eberflus so far? Eberflus and Poles, they seem to be a lot more communicating towards the fans.
I think that
At least Eberflus is.
Look, my thought on this is that I think Eberflus and Poles are doing the right job and trying to temper expectations. They understood. And I think Bears fans seem to forget this a lot, right? The cupboard was basically bare when they got here, right? There wasn't a whole lot. I mean, you got Mooney, you got Montgomery, you got Fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a couple of people there, right? But you got rid of Mac, right? You got some players on defense, right? But you got contract holdouts now, so you kind of don't have a lot. So I think them trying to just establish a new culture, establish a new way of doing things. I like what Eberflus is doing by bringing in a lot of these older players, these alumni from the Bears, right? Like bringing in Peanut Tillman, right? Bringing in Rod Marinelli to talk to the squad.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if anyone saw that video out there, right? I think they're just trying to establish, like they're not saying, hey, look, we're going to do this. All they're saying is like, they're saying the right things. Like the D coordinator is like, look, we're going to be known as the hustle team. We're going to be the team that hustles on defense. There's no expectation set. Like, look, we're going to do this. We're going to set this many sacks. We're going to turn over the ball this many times. No,
but they want to become a turnover team. And they were talking about that today. That's why they kind of look for Brisker and Gordon.
Yeah, like what defense doesn't want to be like that, right? I mean,
yeah, I know,
right?
So I guess they were calling Brisker and Gordon ball hawks. You had Eddie Jackson saying Gordon is one special athlete. and Brisker is just a guy that knows his position. So that's good to hear from somebody who's played a couple of years.
Yeah, look, there's one thing you can't teach, right? It's just that natural instinct, right? You just can't, guys just know how to read quarterbacks, guys just know how to play defense, right? Some of these running backs just know how to hit the holes. So
Hey, was Eddie Jackson the one that got whipped by Velus Jones Jr.? I really don't think it was, but
look, Eddie Jackson's been on decline. Like, he didn't have a great year last year at all.
he didn't at all. I agree.
I don't know if it was a number change that he went to number 4 that kind of screwed him up. I don't know what the deal was, but I think he needs to go back to the old number and see if that makes any difference, because as long as he's been 4, he's been terrible.
He's saying, yeah, it was Eddie Jackson that Velus Jones killed Eddie Jackson, man.
Listen, let's hope that's a good sign. I mean, let's hope
it's a huge, a lot of people.
O'Shaughnessy,
I
huh?
did see that video. I don't know if he got smoked by him, but yeah,
Look,
Fields looks really accurate, man.
Look, if Velus
great
Jones
to
can be that burner and beat a lot of these guys, right? That's a good sign.
I agree.
One thing I want to bring up, right? And Skokes, I know you've been at training camp about this, right? I've been seeing these reports about how, the offense looks okay, right? Like Justin Fields, sometimes he looks great, sometimes he's not the greatest, right? I think that's a good thing right now, right? I mean, you don't want him in the first day of camp to be torching the defense, because I never want to be like, oh man, the defense is terrible. Like, what are we doing on defense, right? I want him to make those mistakes. As a coach, you want him to make those mistakes in practice, because then he knows in the game not to make those same plays.
I agree.
Right? Mm-hmm. I don't know what you guys think out there, right? But that's kind of like, I'm reading those reports like, Justin's terrible, like he's not making the right reads. He's not. Look, that's fine. Let him make the mistakes in practice.
I haven't heard a ton of that. I heard him. He threw 2 interceptions. One was off of Mooney's hands. One was to Kmet. And then after that, he's been pretty darn accurate.
And that's fine.
I mean, from what I've seen. I've also heard some good things about Gibson. I guess Gibson has come in, I think, underweight. Like, he's lost some weight. He's quicker. He's been working with why can't I think of our main dude that just came back?
Which guy?
Why am I having a hard time today? Our defensive lineman, man, who just
Quinn.
Yes, he's been talking to Robert Quinn. Boy, sometimes it sucks to get older.
I don't know.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything funny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you've been losing your mind for like.
Thanks, Storm.
2 weeks, man. Yeah, thank you, dude.
Yeah. So, look, it's the first week of camp, right? It sounds like the defense is, starting to gel a little bit, right? The offensive line is going to be some patchwork with Patrick getting hurt. So you're going to have to, and some of these guys not even practicing at all. Like Tevin Jenkins not even practicing. So, and then Reef and the other guy, Schofield, is it? Schofield, trying to get into the, just trying to get in the shape and just trying to get into the, trying to get the reps in. So,
all right, hey, I'm gonna turn the table on you here. We're gonna go to Bulls for a second, and he's gonna be at camp Tuesday and Wednesday too. Nice, man. How long ago did you get tickets, Skokes? All right, this report is from
the tickets are cheap. They're like $10 a piece. I think they're not very expensive to get in.
Hey, this is from Bulls Wire.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I want to know who the executive is.
It doesn't say, man. You think they?
I think that's an executive trying to make a play to try to see if they can get Patrick Williams.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone literally can say that so early. 1,000% accurate, Storm. How about like 90%?
I don't think
How about
that's
in a
accurate at
normal
all.
range? Normal range.
I don't think that's accurate at all. Look, I don't think DeMar DeRozan would have put in the time and the effort into Patrick Williams that he did over, like letting him stay at his house, right? Working out with him in the summer, getting up at 5 a.m. and working out and lifting and then going to work out, right? I don't think he would have put in that time of effort
All right.
on that
I want to meet.
player,
I want to meet Storm.
right? I don't think he would have put in that time and effort in a player if he thought that he was overrated or overvalued.
All right. So yeah, going on year 3. So what? How much did he play that first year? I mean, think about his first year, right?
He barely played second year because he was hurt.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Hypothetically, 3 years, but he played a year and a half.
Yeah. Oh, look.
And for a rookie,
Okay, overvalued. Maybe.
it's possible. It's possible he's injury prone.
Right? But look, I could make the same argument about Kawhi Leonard.
You could say that about a lot of injury prone people, honestly.
Right? I can make the same argument about Kawhi Leonard. I could make the same argument about
Kyrie, AD for sure.
I can make it, like there's a lot of those type players.
He's not overvalued and overrated. All right, I'll give you this, Storm. If Patrick Williams is not a 14-7 guy this year, then you're right.
Look, I'm not going to argue. Look, Kawhi Leonard is definitely a multi-time champion, correct, right? But when he went to the Clippers, he hasn't performed up to that contract, injured or not, right? AD is an all-star, correct? But he was on a team with LeBron last year, and he was going into the season last year. Everyone said that he was the most dominant player in the NBA.
Listen, Kawhi Leonard, his first year, only scored 8 points a game. Second year, 12, and his second year, 13. So by his third year, he was 13-6. His fourth year, he was 16.5 and 7 rebounds a game. So I'm going to stick to it. If Patrick Williams could get 14-7 this year, I'd say he's right in line with Kawhi Leonard numbers then.
Well,
Pretty
look,
close, man.
Look, you're absolutely right, Storm. AD
They have earned their
and
stripes.
Kawhi have
Amen.
earned their, absolutely, right? But when you use the term overvalued, not overrated,
He's too
overvalued, right? AD, as of right now, is overvalued, right? Kawhi Leonard, right now on that team, that's why they went out and got John Wall on that team, right? You got John
Yep.
Wall,
14-7
Paul
on that
George.
team, buddy.
right?
14-7 on that team.
Look, here's the other part, right? You're not asking Patrick Williams to be your number one option.
Nope. He
Right?
could be a big junk guy, man. I don't want him to be a junk guy, but
he's basically, if Vic and I talk about this all the time, the big three, right? He's the third guy in that big three.
yeah, when
He
they're
needs
getting
to be the
double
big guy.
teamed, and when they're getting double teamed, they need to shoot it off.
I mean,
he's got to be ready to drive and dash in there.
look, that's what I think it is. But some people make the argument it's Vooch, Zach, and DeMar, right? That some people argue that's the big three. But you're right. Look, this is a year where Patrick Williams has to show up. He has to make a difference in games. You're right. It's his third year, right? He's got to make that difference. So.
Yeah, I don't believe that, man. I think the Bulls are going to move the ball a lot better as long as they've got Lonzo in there. Yeah, man, you're sticking to like when he first started playing on the Bulls. That last month with the Bulls, he was not as passive. He was becoming more regularly
involved,
moving.
Yeah.
being more
But look,
aggressive.
Storm, I totally respect what you're saying, right? I'm not saying what you're saying is
Oh,
wrong.
bogus. Yeah, no, I'm telling
Look,
him he's
look,
bogus.
everything Storm is
This
talking about,
is
he's absolutely
bogus.
right. Look,
No,
he's
he's
absolutely
not.
look.
You clown.
Listen, Kawhi Leonard, yes, multi-time champion. AD is an all-star, absolutely.
Yeah, I
Right,
agree with that. But
absolutely.
saying
Right.
he's in Tony Snell territory, absolutely not.
Well, some of those things, but look, again, only time will tell.
Oh, this is a good one. All right.
Only time will tell, and we'll see how he works in the first half of the season. Like, let's give him the first, couple months of the season and see where he's at.
All
Right?
right. Yeah. And
You
then
know,
did you hear how Billy Donovan, he was I think he was going to a thing in Providence.
that's where he played.
Yeah, I don't know if it was it because I forget. I don't know what it was for, but he was at Providence. He got interviewed, and he was saying that Lonzo appears to continue to move in a very, very positive direction, and Alex is fine right now. When I think Andy Katz asked him the question.
What have I been saying the entire time?
Oh, you weren't worried. Like
I'm still not worried.
You have no stress,
No,
although you do have stress.
I do have stress hanging out with you. Absolutely. Doing this
25
podcast with
minutes,
you, it's stressful,
2-0-0 stat lines. Yeah, you're telling me, man.
right? Yeah, let's see.
Yes,
Let's see, Storm.
Storm's ticking me off like you do.
Listen,
25 minutes,
I'm willing to give Storm
dude.
a little bit of leeway here, right? Yeah, look,
I'm not, man.
Patrick Williams hasn't played a lot in the last 2 years, right? Especially last year.
I know that. So to say that he's had 3 years is not completely accurate.
Look, by third year, you need to know what you got.
I mean, that'd be nice.
We
That'd
don't
be
know
nice if he wasn't injured. Yes,
look. The reality is, you don't know. It's all still potential.
correct. I agree
in Patrick
with that.
Williams, right? All still potential. So
I don't know about this either. That's possible. If they don't move the ball to him and they don't get him interacting, then you are right. But that's the job.
this
of the
point
coach.
is absolutely 100% correct.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But they are gonna see double teams, and if they've learned anything from last year, they literally need to get another guy involved. And they saw that in the playoffs, man. They were stopping Levine and DeRozan. So hopefully that was a good lesson for the Bulls.
Yeah. Well, look, running it back 1 year. Let's see what happens. Right.
Let's run it back, baby.
Yeah. I'm good. I like the debate. I like the.
I do too. I like
the fieriness, right? And that's what we're all about here, right? Like, look,
I didn't.
It really looks like on the videos that Vic and I actually get along. The reality is, when we're sitting at the bar and talking about some of this stuff,
we disagree a lot.
But
that's fun.
And we kind of get into it a little bit, especially like we start talking about like players and trades.
No one wants to hear about our story.
But look,
this is okay. So what Storm put on here is one reason why when we signed Drummond, I actually suggested playing Drummond along Vooch and having Patrick Williams be on the second team.
Yes, you did.
Yes. And for that fact alone, because I think you're going to need someone who can score on that second team, on that unit. Now, but that doesn't necessarily mean just because he starts that Donovan won't keep him out there on the second unit, because he did a really good job, of rotating people and keeping scorers on the floor.
Yeah, I think the first half of the season, it was DeMar or Zach were always on the court at any given time. Very rarely was it neither one of them was on the court. Right?
Why is that, Storm? Defense? Is that what you're saying?
They both kind of stand there.
I don't know. Vooch did a pretty good job last year.
Vooch hangs out at the 3-point line.
On offense, yes.
Yeah. So
I would not want Jeremy Grant, though. I don't know how he would fit in there either.
Jeremy Grant in Portland is going to be an interesting, right? He went to Portland, right? I mean, that's
Mhm.
going to be an interesting fit with Dame Lillard because him and CJ McCollum, they try to make that work. And for some reason, it just never. I mean, they're good friends, but it just seemed to never gel between the two of them.
This is great. Another great one. The Bulls always get killed by the pick and roll, but they were not getting killed by the pick and roll early on when they had all their when they had Lonzo and Caruso as guards. They did a better job of sealing off that pick, which allowed our center to get back a little quicker. Once they were out, they was forget it. Their pick and roll was killing us.
Look, I'll say this, right? I mean, this is part of the reason why Zach and those guys was hoping that they would run back with the same team because, look, the Golden State Warriors are the best example of this, right? If you got guys that are part of that team and that know where everyone else is going to be, it doesn't matter what size you're at, right? You're going to be able to play some good defense, right? And the Warriors were not the tallest team. They're not the most physically dominant team, right? But when you got Kevon Looney and Draymond and Clay and Steph, who've been part of that program for a while, they know exactly where everyone else is going to be.
Yeah, they know their role.
Yeah. Jordan Poole was the only guy that kind of had to rotate into that whole thing. So
he did really well.
Yeah, but everyone else seemed to kind of fit into the scheme. So it's not always about being the biggest team. It's about, playing good team defense and knowing where the other guy's going to be. If you don't know where the other guy's going to be, it's hard to defend anybody.
Well, it'll be interesting on the Bulls team defense if they play like they did in the first half. And granted, they played lesser opponents, but if they can be in the top half of defense and the top half of offense, I think they're going to do well.
Storm, we're going to have you on a discussion when we do the preseason Bulls. We have to see how that works out, right? So, yeah. Look, again, we'll see what happens when the season starts. But let's hopefully, first things first is hopefully everyone gets back healthy, right? And no one gets hurt, and we're able to get through the 4-game preseason and see how it goes out from there. So,
yeah, I still don't like the overall signings, but I'm trusting that AK and ME knows better than us.
How'd you feel about the DeMar DeRozan signing last year?
I was.
You weren't thrilled about it.
I wasn't thrilled about it, but it was exciting that we were actually getting somebody to go along with Zach and Vooch.
I think you were more excited about the AC signing last year.
I don't think so. I was excited that Zach. Well, I thought Zach was going to be the number one scorer and that DeMar would be the number 2. It did not happen that way. I was pleasantly surprised, obviously, throughout the whole season. Who wasn't of DeMar?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we covered a lot tonight. Bears, Bulls, Cubs, Sox. Let's see if Wilson Contreras is still on the team tomorrow. Let's see how that goes.
I'm gonna be a ticked off dude if he isn't.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We do appreciate it. We love the lively debate. It's fun when we do these live streams because we love when everyone gets involved. Skulk, Storm, Jim, I know you were in there too, making some comments. So thanks everyone for coming in tonight, checking us out. If you haven't had a chance to hit the like, the subscribe, do us a favor, share the videos, retweet, share, tell your friends about us. We'd appreciate it, but mostly hit the like button because that definitely helps us out. So thanks everyone for tuning in on a Saturday night. Hope you guys have a good weekend. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.
Love
and digits.